Welcome, my beautiful weebs. I'm gothjon, and welcome to the Weebish podcast.
Konnichiwa senpai, please notice me. I watch Asian cartoons. I'm a weeaboo.
Today's topic, we're going to be talking about all those beautiful slice of life animes and how I feel about them. But first, we're going to go with the stuff that I'm currently watching. I'm currently watching the Demon Slayer Mugen Train arc, which is the TV version of the Mugen Train movie. So it's just as good as the movie. At least so far I've watched an episode or two. If you're one of the 5 people that hasn't watched the movie, you should check it out when it's airing. The TV version is pretty much just as good as the movie, just in smaller chunks. I'm also watching Komi Can't Communicate. So I've only watched one episode of this because trying to find like a good sub is very hard, and I'm trying to wait until it comes out on Netflix next week. Super hyped to watch this show as I love the art style and it's pretty funny, you know. Also, cats are a plus, and her big eyes and Komi's all that's pretty good. And I'm finishing up an anime from last airing season, Mish Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S, which I'm currently watching. It is considered a slice of life show. I think Komi is too. Which I feel like I'm kind of watching an obligation, kind of like My Hero. But something that's really cool about this season of Kobayashi is it's got a banger of an OP. Which is, if I'm going to be honest, one of the main reasons why I'm finishing it. And then, you know, just getting caught up on other stuff and all that good stuff. All the airing anime for this winter season. So, some other stuff that I recently watched, not necessarily currently watching because they already aired, was the second season of Magi Record, which is the Madoka Magica phone game anime, which I didn't really pay attention to the story in the game, so I was like, oh, let's check out the anime. It seems interesting. So I'm on the second season. Some of the original characters, Madoka, Homura, Sak, Kyoko, and Mami. And they come back, which it's great to see these characters after not seeing them for infinity years. You know, I think almost 10 years. And it's one of my favorite anime, so it's just like, So, it's friggin' sweet. Anything to do with my girls is a plus, mostly because we only spent like 12 episodes with them and, you know, that third movie, which was great. 10 out of 10. Great music. You know, every time I heard just original music. Original music was fine. Indifferent. That doesn't give me the nostalgia boner that, you know, I love. It's, you know, when I hear that transformation songs for like Madoka or anything, and I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, great callbacks to the original Madoka anime. You know, these characters are doing this, and they're doing connects, which is like a part of the game where you like you use 2 units together and they do like a special on the third chain and it deals damage or whatever. So, you know, I thought that was a good callback to that game. And then the only thing that kind of pissed me off was, so this season was only 8 episodes, which it's pretty short. You know, and what the fuck was that cliffhanger ending? Jesus. I know it was only 8 episodes, but, you know, you couldn't have, you know, finished it off at like a good part. So, you know, when you do the season 3, then it doesn't seem like you're milking it. So, third season, I'm probably going to watch it. Still love Madoka as an anime, and any anime project related to it, I'll definitely consume. And the other thing I watched was the Made in the Abyss movie. Oh, yeah. No, never mind. Going back. What I'm really hyped for is that 4th Madoka movie. It's called like Walpurgis something. I'm sure it has to do with Walpurgis Night. Or as the retelling, the 4chaners call it, something night, something stupid. That shit's gonna be lit. Like, it doesn't matter what they do. Like, the third movie is such a good continuation of the anime that you're just like, Homura is the best character. And that's no spoilers for that, because I want everyone ever to watch Madoka and watch that third movie and be hyped for that fourth movie whenever it comes out. I also watched the Made in the Abyss movie 3. I'm going to butcher this because I don't speak Japanese. I couldn't find an English translation. It's called Fukai Tamashi no Reimei or whatever. So it was another arc after the anime, and it was pretty good. I haven't watched Made in Abyss for a while, and I took my sweet ass time watching this movie because the virus kept everybody from going out to see movies, and I was lucky to even see the Demon Slayer movie, which I'll talk about later. Slice of life. What is it? Typically, it's a show that follows a character or a set of characters through their daily life, and sometimes it's at school and sometimes it's at work. Why watch it? It's a good time. It's good, wholesome, slow, nicely paced, like an adventure through the daily life of a Japanese salaryman or, a kid in high school that just can't get a break or has, good times eating bentos with their buds. And, the typical hijinks that they get into and, how silly it is and all that good stuff. So why I watch Slice of Life, it's just a good way to, to relax, to chill out. Typically, the shows are funny. They don't necessarily have to be. And sometimes we don't have to get the high-stakes action in our life, My life is as stressful as it is normally. I don't need to necessarily add on that stress sometimes. I don't want to... There are some shows like Happy Sugar Life that I legitimately almost dropped because it just made me too anxious watching. And I know that's kind of funny to say, but I don't want to watch something that's going to stress me out. But I do like all the shonen anime. I like my Dragon Ball and Inuyasha and all that good stuff. So sometimes you need slice of life. It's good, wholesome fun. And sometimes you'll find like an anime you really enjoy, and it happens to be slice of life, and that's okay. So something that Dummies has said to me, why watch slice of life? Nothing happens, or there's no plot or whatever, and that's not necessarily true. There is plot in slice of life. It's just it's not a long arcing plot of the big bad that they have to destroy. You don't necessarily need something like a Michael Bay explosion in the background or some guy to yell out his move to enjoy it. You don't need to see, two guys punching each other at, God's speeds where the camera can't catch the punches and what have you. And then we'll go into some recommendations. I have been a big consumer of slice of anime. I always have been. Something like K-On! Well, it rings a bell when I think of like top tier slice of life anime. Like K-On! Is such a good show. In my opinion, at least, that it sat in my top 5 for like 3 or 4 years until I decided to move it out. K-On! It's about this, what is it? It's a light music club, and their band name is After School Tea Time, translated in English. We follow Yui, Mugi. So Yui's on guitar, Mugi is on keyboard. I'm trying to remember their names. In the second season, you have Azunyan, she's like the backup guitar. You have Mio. That's where you get that Moi Moi Kyon. She's a bassist. And then you have Mio's friend, I think her name's Ritsu? Yeah, Ritsu, on the drums. And then there's some other characters in the show that aren't necessarily in the band, but they make an appearance. Like Yui's sister is pretty adorable and wholesome. She's a good younger sister that takes care of her and all that good jazz. It's for a show that nothing happens and girls just drink tea and have a good time. You're along for the ride. You just want to see, what silly hijinks they are, and Yui falling asleep and thinking Mugi's her freaking eyelashes are like crawling away like caterpillars because they're so big and fluffy, and it's just a good good like wind down anime to watch. And then another show that I like for a different reason, that doesn't take place in high school like a lot of these slice of life anime do. And, you always got that guy sitting at the second back in the window seat because it makes it so it's easier to draw because they just have that window to draw and they're always looking out the window. Is Agretzko. Gretzko is this awesome show that ended up on Netflix. I think it's a Netflix original, and it's about this this little red panda girl. Don't get scared that it's a furry show or anything. It's still a good show. All the characters happen to be animals. They're bipedal. They're walking on 2 feet, and Gretzko takes place mostly in the office. So Gretzko, as she's named, it's called Gretzko because she's aggro when she's out of work. Have you ever hated your boring ass job? Your boss being a gross chauvinistic pig? And in this aspect, he's actually a pig, so it's kind of funny. That's a little bit on the nose, but that's fine. It's great. Your coworkers always suck up to him, and all that stuff. I'm sure you've had a job like that. Well, Retzko, or Retzi, as one of her friends calls her, freaking hopeless romantic dork. She has spirit, but just not at work. She isn't gonna necessarily talk back to her boss, at least right away. When she gets off work, she goes to the karaoke bar and then starts just belting out death metal in just how much she just hates her job and how much she wanted to say shit to her boss and all that. Gretzko is pretty funny anime. It's a great show. I won't talk about season 3 because kind of took a weird spin. I still liked it, but it's kind of weird what you're doing to my girl. I can really relate to Gretzko because I've had jobs I've not liked and had bosses that were difficult to work with. In conclusion, all Slice of Life is awesome, and if one of your friends says something stupid like nothing happens in Slice of Life anime or it's boring, you just tell them something along the lines of that's okay. Everything doesn't have to have a point. You don't need a big Marvel arcing story that is convoluted and doesn't make any sense. You don't need that necessarily in every media you consume. You don't necessarily need that. Anime is, it's something. It's something you watch. It's something you watch for entertainment. You don't necessarily need to be stressed out and have to watch, guns and swords going everywhere necessarily to enjoy it. So there's a lot of anime to look for next season. In particular, some shows that I'm pretty hyped for is a second part of the final season of Attack on Titan, which somehow I haven't had spoiled for me. Please don't spoil it for me. I beg of you. Don't pull a me and look up Attack on Titan wallpapers and get a bunch of characters spoiled. Something about the characters. Don't do that. I won't spoil it for you. Please don't spoil it for me. Another thing I'm looking forward to is the next season of Demon Slayer. I'm all about that Sakuya, as the Annie weebs say. It's gonna be good. I didn't read the manga. I'm not somebody that reads manga because I'm sure it doesn't take that much time. It's just I would prefer to have my my panels animated. I'm gonna read the subtitles and all that because I'm not gonna watch the dub. I saw Mugen Train in the theaters and that got me hyped. I'm like, how long am I gonna have to wait for another season of this show? It's got good music. It's got good art. It's it's very flashy. It's one of those shonen anime. That I was bagging on so much in our slice of life arc of this conversation. It is what it is. I think that's all I have to say. And I'm going to wish you guys a pleasant evening, day, or whatever time you're listening to this. This is gothjon signing out. I'll see you later. Ciao.